Good morning, everybody. How you doing? And welcome to the PreStream podcast. Today is Monday, May 16th, 2022, and I am Darkside Phil. Welcome to my final consecutive streaming day of the week. Welcome to what's actually going to be a jam-packed episode of the PreStream podcast. Why? Because we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We got to talk about the future of the content on my streams because we got a new playthrough coming up that I want to talk about this morning and maybe even do a poll for. We've got a ton of game news to talk about this morning. Out of nowhere, a ton of stuff happened overnight. We got to talk about new upcoming games. We got to talk about the new PlayStation Plus service, which finally has all the games listed for it. We got a lot of stuff to cover, all right? Obviously, I'm excited, and I hope that you guys are excited too. And, of course, today is going to be a full and fun streaming day. We've got Skyrim Anniversary Edition and the Dragonborn DLC. Nice, relaxing, chill, interactive stream to start the day. And then later tonight, we got the continuation of Mirror's Edge, throwback playthrough of a game that I played 14 years ago. In 2008, the first year I ever put out gameplay footage on YouTube, only this time with direct capture, live streaming, and man, does it look and sound better, right? So, we got a very exciting day in store here to end my streaming week. Where do we really start? Well, I guess what I'd like to do is recap this weekend because this weekend had my 1-year return to YouTube anniversary marathon that happened on Saturday. And I just want to say thanks to anyone who's been watching that content on demand on YouTube and playing catch up because my views this weekend went, whoa, skyrocketed through the ceiling because of the various different projects that I did during that marathon event, including Feasting with the King, Thai food, which as of this morning, I think has over 1,000 views and climbing, and we'll have more, I'm sure, over the course of the week. The fantasy sim match that we did in WWE 2K22, the 30-man over-the-top rope battle royal, that has around 2,000 views and climbing. Actually, it might have more than that by now. I haven't really checked this morning, but that's doing well. And, of course, the DSP Reacts to Down the Rabbit Hole Darkside Phil, which I fully expect over the course of this week is going to get tons of engagement and viewership, but already just only being out for like a day and a half, really great views. I think part 1 has like over 6,000 views and climbing and still going, okay? Now you got to understand something. You may be hearing those numbers and being like, those aren't big numbers. They're not, but I'm not a big YouTuber. And DSPGaming has been a channel that's been defunct for a long time. I only just brought it back a year ago to try to emphasize, hey guys, come back to the channel. Here's a bunch of reasons why, you understand? So it's big numbers for me. When typically every upload that I have on the channel gets between like 300 to 600 views, pushing 1,000 if I'm lucky. When I'm getting videos with thousands of views, it actually adds up. It's big engagement for the channel. It gives the channel more visibility. Like I'm looking at my metrics right now for the weekend, and the metrics are like, whoa, your view time is way up and your engagement is way up and everything because I did the special event. All right? So that being said, I certainly hope that you guys will check out that stuff if you haven't yet. And thanks to those who have been liking the videos and leaving comments. The engagement is sky high on everything that I've been doing over the weekend. Now, what I would like to do, though, is put all this in perspective. All right? I want to put this in perspective for all of you. Because a lot of people question things like, oh, well, you see, Phil had an amazing streaming weekend this week with this special marathon event and all of this. And obviously now, you know, he's riding Cloud 9. Everything's great. It's rainbows and unicorns and everything, right? Well, here's the truth. We had a great weekend. But outside of really good tips that I got during that event, it really hasn't amounted to much of anything else. It's kind of like when I do a viral tweet about the Oscars, all right? You get initial little bit of eyes, a little bit of extra attention on everything, and then it just kind of fizzles out and goes away. Does it actually amount to anything? Well, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Excuse me, I'm trying to get rid of my allergies. I took an allergy medication this morning. I would hope that at the very least the Down the Rabbit Hole reaction video will do well over time. Right now it's doing okay in the short term, but I'm hoping it'll grow over time. Considering that that's a video that 6.5 million people saw, it would be nice if at least a few thousand people would actually watch the context behind it to understand everything that went down in that video, rather than just think that I'm some kind of an asshole. But it doesn't really matter because most people will always think I'm an asshole because it's out there, right? When it's presented to people like that with no context, there's not much you can do about it, okay? So anyway, I took a look at all the stats, right? And I'm like, wow. So the weekend was great for the channel, engagement-wise. But then you look at, I'm just curious, right? I wonder if this will equate to anything when it comes to support-wise. And when I say that, I mean all levels of support. Memberships, super chats, super stickers, super thanks. Okay? Tips have been good. That's the one thing I'm not going to complain about. The tips that day were great. And I look, and it's like, it's the same. Nothing. Zero increase. I'm not even exaggerating. Zero increase from my normal income that I make. In fact, overall, for the first half of May, I'm actually behind what I usually make on YouTube for this month. Yeah, no exaggeration. Apparently, it's been a slower month for things like memberships, super chats, super stickers, and super thanks. And it's funny because some people are like, oh, Phil, those super thanks, man, you have no reason to complain. You got your super thanks now, so you must be doing well. I looked it up. I have made $20 on super thanks since May started. We're 2 weeks into the month. $20. Okay? So it is not something that's common, that's being used. Right now, as you guys know, there are 0 new releases. 0 of any note or anything that I would want to be doing on my streams. And when there's no new releases to bring people to the streams or check out a hot new playthrough, you're not going to get people who are going to utilize things like super thanks and stuff like that. You're just not. If there was a month of a bunch of hot new games and stuff, and people were coming to watch the full play, the first new playthroughs and everything, it'd be very different. Okay? But it's not. The situation we're in is May is a dead month. It's literally completely dead. The last week of the month, we got 2 games on Game Pass, Sniper Elite 5 and Pac-Man Museum Plus, that likely also will not bring viewership in. So I'm having a good time with a chill month. Don't get me wrong. I like everything we're doing right now. I'm enjoying every piece of content that I put out, and I hope that you guys are really enjoying it too. All right? But the point I'm trying to emphasize here on the PreStream podcast today is that just because on the surface level everything looks good doesn't equate to actual support of me and my business. It doesn't. It's like, oh, okay, views are up. But out of all those people who are watching the React video right now, or watching the WWE Sim video and really liking it, how many people are then supporting the channel after the fact? Apparently next to none. Even though, I'm going the extra mile and doing extra effort and content here for you guys, it's not really equating to much extra or anything extra. It's actually, like I said, I'm actually behind this month from what I would usually make in a given month. Okay? Now, I'm not complaining, but I just want to make awareness about this. Because what happens is people seem to take stuff for granted. And as soon as you see, oh, we'll fill out a big increase in viewership over this weekend, that means he's doing better. Actually, no, it doesn't mean that at all. It really doesn't. It's not like it used to be. Remember, it used to be, back in the day on YouTube, all my income came from ad revenue, and ad revenue was sky high. So if I had a weekend like this, and oh my God, Phil's viewership's up, he must be doing really good. And the answer back then would have been yes. Not anymore. Now it's really dependent on the crowdfunding, okay? So, if you're on a stream, you're liking the content, you're having a good time, please support it if you can, all right? And whether that means a membership, a super chat, a super sticker, a tip, it all helps. If you're watching on demand, this is a huge thing. Right now, my on-demand viewership is spiking way up for the past couple of days as people are watching the content from the 1-year anniversary special. If you enjoy that content, please support it, all right? Whether that means becoming a channel member or a super thanks or maybe looking at the description of the video and leaving a tip. I need that help to keep this business afloat. It's not like, oh, I just make the content and people watch it and I make a living anymore. It's not. The ad revenue is abysmally low. It always has been. In fact, I looked, ad revenue on YouTube this month is down by about 20%, meaning nothing that I did wrong. I'm still putting out the content. People are still watching it. The ads are still there, but they're not profitable. They're way less profitable this month. Why? Because YouTube can't sell ad space right now. There's really no holiday going on. No one's advertising big products, so the ads aren't paying. This is how YouTube works. So, please, if you enjoy all the stuff that I've been doing, the special stuff I've been doing, please support it in any way you can. I mean, in particular, right now, remember, just yesterday morning, I lowered the monthly membership goal. I said, hey guys, let's try to hit this new number that's lower now, and if we do, we'll lock into the next DSP Reacts event, and you guys can vote on whether I react to the very original This Is How You Don't Play video, made in 2012, I believe, or 2011 or 2012, or I'll react to the recording that John Rambo and Howard made about me in 2015, all right? So there you go. Good variety of stuff. I know you guys want to see another React event. They're some of the highest viewed things I've been doing. And this would be a way to lock it in. And we need a few people to become members. Not that many. Now it's about 35. So, we went from over 50-something to down to 35 because I lowered the goal. All right? So, again, please consider supporting the channel in any way you can. All right? And just in particular, tomorrow is my day off. Today, a great way to support this channel would be by tipping. Because the tips is something I can use on my day off tomorrow, to spend time with my wife. We actually have some important stuff we have to do tomorrow, including some appointments we have and some errands we have to run. And yeah, having some tips today to help out with tomorrow would be great. That's sadly how it kind of is right now, where I live week to week, and whatever I make on a particular week is what I spend on my day off to do grocery shopping and errands and all of that. So yeah, it would help today. Okay, so if you like everything I've been doing, please support it. Thank you. Now that that's out of the way, we can stop it with the shill bullshit, and we can get to the actual important and interesting stuff on today's PreStream podcast, okay? First of all, let's talk about the schedule, and let's talk about an upcoming new game playthrough that I want to discuss with you guys this morning, all right? So, today, it is Skyrim Anniversary Edition, as I've already stated, with the Dragonborn DLC, which I'm very excited for. And then later tonight, it's Mirror's Edge continuing. Just so you guys know, Mirror's Edge is a very short game. I probably will only need 2 more night streams to finish it. I looked at the amount of chapters in the game, and I've already beaten more than a third of them. It's actually I'm almost to the halfway point. Tonight, I will absolutely pass the halfway point and head into the final third, in which case, 1 more stream and we're done, okay? So definitely excited for that. Now, that's tonight, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, by the way. Tomorrow, I'm off from streaming. There's no live streams tomorrow. I hope that you guys have a good day away. Great, ample opportunity for you to get caught up from the 1-year anniversary marathon that happened on Saturday. I'm sure if you haven't checked it out yet, there's at least some stuff there you want to watch. Please give it a look, okay? Then, on Wednesday, it's the continuation of WWE 2K22 My Rise mode. This is the campaign mode in the game. I just got recruited to NXT and had my first title match, so it's actually gotten a little bit more exciting. I'm excited to see where this leads. Will I actually have plot lines in NXT now? Will it lead into title defenses? Will I actually go for the actual NXT lead title? I don't know. We'll find out when I continue on Wednesday, okay? Then Wednesday night, it will be a determination stream for Halo Infinite, and here's what I mean by that. Last night, I played Halo Infinite multiplayer. This was my 3rd session of the game in the last week, because I came back to the game for Season 2 to check out the Season 2 content. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not blown away by the Season 2 content. It's only 2 new maps. 1 map is only used for this new pseudo-battle royale gun game mode called Last Spartan Standing. Personally, I don't think it's a good mode. I think it's a poor attempt to emulate what other people have done with Battle Royale, and the people who made the map don't understand what makes Battle Royale good, because the map has some dumb shit in it where you can instantly die and lose a life, that makes no fucking sense at all. It's just poorly made. The other map plays like a Halo 3 map, which is alright, but it's not anything to write home about. Outside of that, the only other thing they've really done is added a new playlist that's called Rumble Pit. And what this is a free-for-all playlist where everyone's out for themselves rather than team-based, and has a variety of game modes like Slayer, Oddball, and a new version of Oddball called Vampire Ball, where when you get the ball, you're like really powerful and you can insta-kill people and get all your health back. So it's kind of a neat thing for like the first time you do it, the second time you do it, and then you're like, well, I've played this now 3 sessions and there's really nothing else here. Like, there's nothing of substance. In addition to that, I hate to report, but they just didn't improve anything when it came to the online experience of the game. The hit detection's still bad. The connections are still poor. Even when you're in a game that claims it's 30 to 60 milliseconds. If you get a game that says it's 100 milliseconds, you might as well just quit. There's no point in even playing it. You can't even hit anything. It's bad. And they did zero to improve this in the 6 effing months that they had to work on this. They didn't do anything to make it better. They just kind of said, oh, it's good enough, and just let it be, which is pathetic. You're a game developer. This is your one game you're effing working on. I just noticed that this got caught up under here. There we go. I just noticed that. I wonder how long it's been like that. So you're a game developer, 343 Industries. This is literally the only game you're working on. This is your bread and butter. This is the game everyone wants to see improved, and you could only add 2 new maps, 1 new game mode, and your online experience still sucks. So what did you do for 6 months? Seriously, I'm not one to crap on a game developer unfairly, but I have been criticizing 343 a lot. I don't know what they're doing over there. I really have no clue. Do they have 4 people working for them? I'm just at a loss. That they're an entire game studio, and in 6 months, this is what they came up with for season 2. It's like baffling. All right. So after last night, I'll be honest with you guys. Out of the entire 2-hour session I played of the game, I probably enjoyed 4 matches. Out of that, the rest was laggy, shitty, bad hit detection, just annoying as fuck. And I'm like, why am I going to keep putting myself through this? I know for a fact I could be playing other stuff that I'll enjoy. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to play Halo Infinite on Wednesday night. If I have a good time, then I will keep it in the rotation. If I don't, then fuck this game. I'm never going back to it. And I mean it too. Like, it's a shame because it really was like the biggest success story of last year where no one knew if Halo Infinite was going to be good. It ended up being one of the best games of the year. But this studio is running themselves into the ground with no actual justification for it. There's no excuse that they would not actually make their game better in 6 months. And now they're telling you to wait another 6 months for a major update. It's like, what are you, out of your minds? So I'm going to try it one more time. And if it's not good, I'm just not playing it anymore. We got way more stuff that we could be doing on late streams that I'm interested in than me suffering through this game. That's the sad fact is I really am liking the gameplay mechanics if the game would just work. It doesn't. It lags so bad. How the fuck is a guy standing directly in front of me? I do a melee attack. My arm and body teleport through him and miss. I was standing directly behind an enemy. My pistol was out. I'm shooting him in the back of the head repeatedly. He jumps straight up and I die. The game claims he was behind me and got me with the instant back kill. Why should I play the game anymore? And this is all documented. It's on camera. I'm not making it up. Why the fuck should I play a game that's that bad? And how do they not understand that they've killed their own fucking game? I just don't get it. So, Wednesday night, we are going to figure this out. All right? All right, cool. Then, on Thursday, we continue on with more Skyrim. And then Thursday night should effectively be the conclusion of Mirror's Edge. Okay? Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because once Mirror's Edge is done, we're going to have to find a new game to play. Okay? And if I end up not continuing with Halo Infinite, we're going to need another new game to play. We're going to need a whole new lineup for the late night streams. Okay? Now, here's the deal. All right? I have a few ideas of games that I could possibly play on a late night stream. And what I would like to do today is do a poll on the community page of DSPGaming to see what you guys think. And here's the ideas that I have for upcoming playthroughs as of now. By the way, these are not set in stone. This is just ideas, okay? First idea would be a classic game from my formative SNES days. A game that I grew up playing that I absolutely love. And I know that if I play it again, it's going to be a really fun playthrough with interaction with my streaming audience. Because the last time that I played these games nearly 10 years ago, I did not have an interactive experience on my content. It was just me playing the game and ignoring everybody. In this case, it would be very different. It would be me playing the game, talking with you guys, chilling, talking about the lore of the game, the gameplay mechanics, maybe even talking about our personal experiences as we play these games, and enjoying it for what it is. A cool, fun, interactive experience for games that I love. Look back to my Final Fantasy 4 and 6 playthroughs in the last few years, and you'll see what I mean. Those playthroughs were so fun and different because it was games that I already loved and knew, and now being able to share that with my audience live was a really unique experience, okay? So the games I'm talking about in particular, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, and Earthbound, or Mother 2. Now, I would also love to add Chrono Trigger to that mix, but from what people have told me, there is no viable way to play Chrono Trigger on a console right now. They have not, as of yet, added it to the Nintendo Switch online service, and there's no other way to play it. So I guess I can't play Chrono Trigger until Nintendo decides to get smart and fucking do it. I don't know what to say about that, okay? Now, those are the two first ideas that I have, okay? Now, also, another idea that I had, all right? There is a game from my childhood that I absolutely love, but it's a game that's kind of an oddity because it's a game that was different depending on where you lived. I know that sounds really weird, but it's true. When I was growing up, the best platforming games out there with the Super Mario Brothers franchise. And I played Super Mario Brothers 1 on the NES, Super Mario Brothers 2 on the NES, Super Mario Brothers 3 on the NES. I didn't know any different. I thought that that was the series. But come to find out that Super Mario Brothers 2 that I played was not the real Super Mario Brothers 2. In Japan, it was a completely different game that looked exactly like the original Super Mario Brothers, and it was much harder, and they called it the Lost Levels. All right? And when it got ported eventually to American audiences, I should say. The game that I played, Super Mario Brothers 2, was actually called Doki Doki Panic. Okay? It's a weird game. A lot of killer, weird animals, little guys wearing hockey masks, an Arabian theme. Yes, I know that sounds weird for Mario, but an Arabian theme with actual Arabian-style music in it. It's a pretty interesting game. All right? I've never played this ever for any audience. I've only played it for myself back in the day on my NES. The last time I played Super Mario Bros. 2 was in an actual NES console. So it would be pretty interesting to go back and play Super Mario Bros. 2, the American version, as a playthrough, and I believe that is available also on Nintendo Online, or I should say Nintendo Switch Online. All right? So that would be interesting. Now, obviously, the Mario games aren't super long, but what I would do in this is actually try to beat every stage rather than take warp zones, because I know there's warp zones. You can warp right to the end of the game, but I would try to legitimately beat every single game, or excuse me, every single stage in order. And it would be really unique, I think. All right? I haven't played an old school platformer in a very long time. So that would be kind of neat. That's another idea. So, right now, Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, Earthbound, or Mother 2, or Super Mario Bros. 2 US, a.k.a. Doki Doki Panic, which was actually the real name of the game in Japan before they reskinned it to be Super Mario 2. Okay? Alright. 2 other ideas. Idea number 1. By the way, yes, congratulations, Rob. You've earned your crown upgrade. I should say this. As of last night, it was very exciting. On last night's late stream, some people earned their 1-year crown anniversary. And this, you can see, that's what it looks like. The Regal Crown. Some people have hit their 1-year anniversary of being a member on the channel, and they're earning that crown, and Rob just got it, which is really cool. So thank you, Rob, for the ongoing support. I really appreciate that. All right. And congratulations, by the way. The other 2 ideas I have are to continue on with playthroughs that I already started, all right, from Microsoft Game Pass. Games that I'm intrigued on and actually want to play, but I haven't really had opportunity to continue them yet. And when we've done a series of polls to determine what Game Pass games I would play, sometimes these games got votes but never really reached the top. The 2 games I'm interested in at this time, excuse me, are Serious Sam 4 and One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. Okay? Serious Sam 4, a first-person shooter, very high-octane, high-action-based, and zany, very zany kind of game. It's not meant to be serious. It's meant to be like a humorous game, a parody of, say, all other first-person shooters. Like, Serious Sam himself is kind of a parody of Duke Nukem, okay? So I'm very excited for that to eventually play it. I actually played a little bit of it, like maybe about an hour, and I actually really liked it. People seem to really like it, too. In addition to that, One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. That is a game that is a Musou game. For those who don't know, it's the same formula as Dynasty Warriors. You're a group of heroes with superpowered abilities and combos, and you use that to take on giant armies of enemies. There's boss fights, there's epic plot lines, and in this case, it follows the plot of One Piece. Now, there's 2 reasons I'm actually really interested in this. The first reason is, when I tested the game, it ran beautifully on the Xbox Series X. This is the first time ever that I've ever played a Musou game. I've played Dynasty Warriors games, I've played Zelda ones, I've played all these different ones. They always run bad. When you start to get into the big fights and you start fighting a bunch of enemies, all of a sudden the frame rate will dip and tank. You get into a big boss fight and all the effects make the game kind of crap out. In this case, that never happened. Never. Okay? I was like blown away. I was like, wow, the game actually performs well as intended. Now, in addition, I used to be interested in One Piece. I used to watch the show in the 2000s, but the show is so lengthy. It's crazy long. I fell off from watching it. Playing this game would actually get me a lot of information about One Piece and the storylines and everything. And people who are fans of One Piece would likely like to come by to the streams and hang out with me as I experience the story for the first time. All right? So those are my 5 ideas. I'm not saying those are the only 5 that are viable. I'm just saying those are the 5 that come to mind for me when I'm thinking of stuff that I want to do for night streams coming up. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make a poll on the community tab of DSP Gaming. So I want you guys to head over there and vote on this, all right? So here we go. Poll. Which of the following would you most like to see as an upcoming new playthrough on the late night chill streams? Thanks and good luck. No, this is not a commitment to play these games, but these are this will be a great way to gauge interest. There we go. Because I don't want people to think that just because something wins a poll, I'm absolutely playing it. Okay. So, what options did I just say? I said The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, Earthbound or Mother 2, Super Mario Brothers 2 USA, Doki Doki Panic, which is what it's really called in Japan, Serious Sam 4, or One Piece Pirate Warriors. Whoop! I can't type today. 4. There we go. The poll's going live. Okay? Please vote. What I will do is see your votes to keep tracks of them on the next few days. I'm sure we'll be talking about it a few times during this coming week on the PreStream podcast and other streams to see what you guys are interested in. And likely by the end of this week, we'll make a determination if we want to play one of these games starting next weekend. Because at the very least, Mirror's Edge is completing this week. In which case, we're going to have a new slot at night to fill. But there may be more than one slot if I determine whether or not I want to keep playing Halo Infinite. Okay? Cool. So thank you guys. Again, that's on the main page of DSP Gaming under the community tab. Okay? Sweet. All right. So that's what's going on here on the streams. I've already mentioned the members' goal. Please become a member. If you have not, support the channel, and let's lock in to having the next React event happen. Okay? Will I play Pac-Man Museum? Yes, Randy. It's already a lock. It's a Game Pass game. I'm playing it at the end of this month. Pac-Man Museum Plus. I don't know if I'll play it more than once, but I'm going to give it a shot. Okay. So, let's now get right into the news. No, I'm not doing that. Oh, no. I'm not doing that. Thank you, Ruby, for the super chat. I will do shout-outs for super chats later. All right. So, guys, we got a lot of gaming news to talk about. We do. We have absolutely a ton of gaming news to talk about today. All right? But before we get to that, I do have to introduce... Hold on. Let me get this open. I do have to introduce something new to the show. And this is something that I've never done before. However, after watching the Wings of Redemption Down the Rabbit Hole video, and after finally getting exposed to how other podcasts run, right? Namely, the Painkiller Already podcast, which apparently is a very long-running podcast that's incredibly successful. I've decided to implement some changes on the PreStream podcast. So when we're going to get into a serious topic, like the news, I'm going to make sure that we're hyper-focused on the topic. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the news segment of the PreStream podcast. I hope that this is a nice, informative layout for you and you get maximum information from our news segment today. Just focus right here on the news segment. There's absolutely nothing going on to distract you here today on the podcast. Just let's talk about the news, all right? So the first segment of news today is about Silent Hill, okay? Silent Hill is actually rumored to be getting some new games. We talked about this. What's wrong? Why are you guys laughing? Guys, don't you enjoy our sponsors? DSP cereal with all kinds of bonus stickers, or maybe when you sell some blue, that would really help out the channel. If you could click the link and get some of that, or maybe, just maybe, you're like me and you want to get Mr. Fuck It, the brand new child game. It's interactive. You just pop your balls right in his mouth and it's just buckets of fun. What's wrong? I don't understand what you're talking. And by the way, if you use code DSP, you will save 10% on any of these purchases that you click below right now. This is totally a paid product placement, everyone. It's totally real. All right? All right, let's continue. So, the news here is that Silent Hill is rumored to be having some new games. We talked about this the other day, actually, that there's some leaked artwork out there, a hallway full of Post-it notes, and each Post-it note is some kind of a weird insult. And then there's a girl who looks like her head is exploding with Post-it notes shooting out of it. And the rumor is that this is going to take place in Great Britain, okay? Well, more leaks have happened, and supposedly we have more information on upcoming Silent Hill games. First of all, supposedly Silent Hill 2 is getting a full remake. A full 100% remake. All right? Interesting, because Silent Hill 2 is the most critically acclaimed game of the entire series. Apparently, it's being developed by Intrusive. What do you mean intrusive? What are you talking about? Why are you not looking directly at my face? This is the PreStream podcast where we're all serious. It's about covering the game news. There's nothing else that we'd possibly be doing on this podcast. It's all about the news. What do you intrusive? I'm very insulted you would say that. This is what everyone else does on their shows. I don't understand. I'm just trying to make a living. If you like my content, why wouldn't you want to support me by clicking on any of these and using promo code DSP to save 10%? I just don't understand. I don't understand why I can't do the same thing as anybody else. Okay, obviously this is a joke. And what I'm getting at here, guys, is if you haven't noticed, I don't do that shit. I never have and I never will. That's something that literally a ridiculous shit ton of content creators do. And I was very strongly critical of the people of Painkiller already doing their podcast where 1/3 of their fucking screen is clickable ads for products like fucking toothbrushes and shit. And there's a video of Woody's gamertag with a close-up of his face crying, talking about how sad he is that he can't be friends with Wings of Redemption anymore. And running above his head is a video ad of Minecraft. It's the most intrusive thing ever. It's like, dude, turn the fucking ad off if you're going to be serious, you fucking disingenuous prick. Like, you couldn't find a more disingenuous group of people who are doing it for the money and who fucking obviously don't care about the content they're putting out than if 1/3 of their screen is advertisements. They just don't care. So that's why mine's a little different, and you'll notice you don't see that kind of shit. But also that's why this stuff down there is so important. I literally live day to day on your crowdfunding. I don't rely on ads and fucking promo codes and bullshit. It's about putting out quality content for you guys. Please support it if you like this kind of content without the intrusive nonsense of some asshole trying to shove a product down your throat. Thanks. Okay. All right, let's continue. So, supposedly, number one, Silent Hill 2 is being remade by Bluebird Team. Hold on. Bluebird Team. You know, the same people that made The Medium. Now, personally, I didn't dislike The Medium. I thought it was a pretty decent game, except for the writing. I thought the ending of the game was shitty. The thing is, I thought that the look of the game and the gameplay mechanics were actually quite good. So, if Bluebird Team is simply remaking the game, and they're going with the original plot of Silent Hill 2, what's to be afraid of? Seriously, if they're just going to redo the gameplay mechanics and the graphics, and if the story is the same, the story is already outstanding. So why are people so up in arms? People are all over the internet like, oh, Bluebird Team, you can't let them handle a Silent Hill game. Bluebird Team, Bluebird. Nah. Jesus Christ, you guys are ridiculous. So, yeah, that's one piece of news. The other piece of news is there apparently is going to be a smaller Silent Hill title, possibly like a spin-off style title. And that one is going to be made by, of all people, Annapurna Interactive. You know, that company that makes a wide variety of indie-style games. Remember last year we played Last Stop? Well, basically the games are going to be just like that. Episodic mini stories set in the Silent Hill universe that are story-based, and your choices will drive what happens in the game. So imagine like The Walking Dead episodic game, or The Wolf Among Us, but it's Silent Hill. Apparently this is being made right now, okay? And then on top of that, there's a third game being made, and apparently this is an actual mainstream Silent Hill game. that will be added to the franchise. I don't know if it's a numbered entry or if it'll be like Silent Hill Downpour, but apparently they're working on a big game, okay? All right. Thumbs up. Cool. Our next news story for this morning, and by the way, thank you, Big Papa Pump, for the tip. As you know, I do shout out all that after, and I will read your message later. The next big news story this morning, something that honestly I am shocked it took this long, but I feel like if anyone is ever going to have a continuing interest in this game, it had to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, as of today, never mind, as of next month, I had the date wrong. As of next month, June 21st, Fall Guys. You guys remember this game? Anyone? No? Well, I remember it. I played it about 2 years ago during the summertime. It was a hot game because it was free on PS Plus. So a ridiculous amount of people downloaded it. It became virally popular for streamers and other people playing it. And then people wanted it. So even if they didn't have PS Plus, they went and bought it on PC. But it was only on PlayStation and PC at the time. Okay? So, what is Fall Guys? It is a elimination style game where a bunch of people create these little avatar characters and you run around doing mini games. Think about, you ever seen Most Extreme Elimination Challenge? Or you've ever seen, I guess it's called Takeshi's Castle in Japan. Or have you ever seen Ninja Warrior? It's kind of along those lines. Do a bunch of mini games, jumping, dodging obstacles, trying to survive and not get knocked off a course or get eliminated. You go through a series of rounds until finally there's an ultimate winner who grabs a crown. And if you grab the crown, you can use those crowns to buy things in the game, like an outfit for your character, or a color, or an emote pose or something. All these different things in the game. Now, originally, I think the game was $30, or it was free on PS Plus. The game actually sold insanely well on PC and made these guys a ton of money to the point where they didn't even expect that was going to happen. And then they got bought out by Epic Games. Epic Games was impressed with how well they did, and they bought the company out. However, the game had very short-lived popularity. And here's what I mean by that. Only a few months after Fall Guys had released, another kind of virally popular indie game hit the limelight because more content creators and streamers were playing that, and that game literally took over for Fall Guys. The name of the game was Among Us, the game where you play as little cutesy characters, and you're trying to figure out which among you is a monster that's trying to eat everybody else. Think of the plot of the movie The Thing from the 1980s. That's literally the game, only it's with cutesy graphics. So, that game now became the big viral game on the internet, and Fall Guys got completely forgotten and left in the dust. Meanwhile, the makers of Fall Guys had made good money, was bought by Epic Games, and said, well, we're going to continue to support our game. So they were releasing seasons of new content, new modes, new games, new customizables. They had new tie-ins with different IPs like Sonic the Hedgehog and others, but no one really talked about them anymore. And it's kind of weird because when Fall Guys first released, just on a whim, I'm on social media and I would look at the trends, and the Fall Guys Twitter account, every time they tweeted, I'm not kidding you, their tweets would go viral. They would have hundreds of thousands of likes and retweets on every single tweet they put out about the game. Now, they struggle to push like 2,000, if that. The viewership on their content and the amount of people playing has gone boom in the last 2 years. So, as of June 21st, there's two major changes to Fall Guys. Number one, it is fully free to play. You no longer need PS Plus to play it. Well, I guess you technically do if you want to play it online. You need the online connectivity. But you don't have to buy it. You can just download it for free on any format. And the other huge thing here is that now it's available on literally every format. PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and the Nintendo Switch. It's available on everything as of June 21st for free. So if you didn't play Fall Guys, I would say this would be a great opportunity this summer, especially when typically there's a lot of dead time, to maybe try it out. It's a fun party game at least. It's kind of an enjoyable overall experience as you get better at it and competitive at it at best. It's certainly not anything that I really is going to hold anyone for years and years of entertainment, but it's a fun, silly, mess-around game every once in a while, especially if you're a variety gamer like me and you want something different in what you're playing. It's a good game for that. And I mean, it's freaking free. What they're hoping is that this game is going to sell microtransactions because they've realized no one else is buying the game. So you might as well now make it free, release it for all these other platforms, so hopefully maximum people will play it, and then microtransacting the crap out of it when it comes to the outfits and the colors and the things, so that hopefully people will spend money. All right? So we're going to see what happens. Up until this point, you weren't able to buy anything in the game. Yeah, it's true. You were not able to buy anything in the game at all. It was all earned through in-game currency and the like, and there was no microtransactions. Now, I guess they're going to add microtransactions since it's going free to play. Okay? All right. The next news story today. I had completely forgotten this game even existed. Ladies and gentlemen, last fall, there was a game called Nickelodeon All-Stars. It was a game where all the cartoon characters from Nickelodeon games faced off in a Smash Brothers-esque game. People hyped the shit out of it, acting like it was going to be the successor to Smash. And it wasn't. It was terrible. Everyone complained the game was broken, unbalanced, the connections were terrible, and it was just a garbage game. But at the same time that that game released, there was actually another game that was announced called MultiVersus. This is a game of all Warner Brothers properties. So you think about all the cartoons under Warner Brothers, think about DC, which is owned by Warner Brothers, all those characters in a fucking Smash Brothers game. We're talking the characters from Scooby-Doo, Batman, Superman, Harley Quinn, the Looney Tunes, Steven Universe, Adventure Time, just to name a few, because there's many more in this game. And they're all in a game that's meant to actually be a serious fighter like Smash Brothers. It's not meant to be like a shitty party game like the Nickelodeon game was. This game is actually being designed to be a real competitive game. And they're taking it seriously. They just released their trailer. The trailer looks outstanding, although it has no gameplay. The premise of the game is quite fun. And now we're finally getting new updates. There's actually a closed beta this week, but it's not clear how the hell you get in it. Apparently, it's not for everyone. You had to be maybe an industry insider or something. I'm not exactly sure. And then the open beta for it is coming this summer, sometime in July. I am all over it. I am very interested in this game. If this game actually is fun and competitive, I think it could be pretty neat. I'm not saying that it's going to be like a competitive fighting game for me. I'm just saying it sounds like something fun to jump into and have some variety with, right? I would like to see Batman beat the shit out of the Tasmanian Devil. Wouldn't you like to see Steven Universe, kick Scooby-Doo right in the crotch? I would. So I'm interested. I'm wondering how this is going to turn out. Is it going to be a shitty kids game, or will it actually be a good game that plays competitively like Smash does? It's supposed to be serious. Like, the game developers were interviewed multiple times, and they were all like, no, this is serious. We're not making a kiddie party game. This is supposed to be a game that you can play at a competitive level if you want. So that's good to know, okay? All right, so hopefully we'll have more information over the next couple of months. As you know, there's going to be a ton of digital events covering new games, and hopefully we'll be able to participate in that beta in July. I'm excited for that because I really want to play it and see what it's all about, okay? All right, so I just covered a ton of news stories, but ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to get to the real meat of everything, all right? This morning, finally, after over 2 months of hype, Sony finally announced their lineup, at least at launch, of what's going to be available on the new PlayStation Plus service, which is going live in the United States on June 12th. And worldwide, it's like a slow rollout. I think in Japan, it's sometime in May, and some other properties somewhere else. Here, it's in mid-June. Other places, it's in late June. Okay? So finally, here is the list of games, or highlighted games, I guess I should say, that will be available. I'm not sure if this is 100% every game that will be, available, but this is what they have in their blog post. I'm going to read it right off the blog post for you guys. Okay? So, just to recap, if you're not aware, PlayStation Plus is changing. Previously, PlayStation Plus was just a service you paid once a month or yearly, depending on what membership you had. It gives you online access to all games online multiplayer, and you get a few free games every month or discounts on some games, okay? They usually get about 3 free games a month. Some are older games, some are newer games. It all depends on the month. And then sometimes you get some really good discounts on upcoming games. I've bought a few new games where I saved a few bucks because I was a PS Plus subscriber, Okay? Now, PlayStation had another service called PlayStation Now. That service was primarily meant to be streaming of PlayStation 3 games. So if you had a PS4 or PS5 and you wanted to play PS3 games, you could get PlayStation Now and you could stream PS3 games through this service on your modern console. In addition, it did have a limited selection of older games that you could download fully and also play on your console. But really, the whole focus of the service was supposed to be streaming of legacy games on the PS3. Okay? They were separate services that had separate price tags. As of June, well, I guess you could say late May for some territories, June for everyone else, they're combining the services into the new PS Plus, where they have different tiers. The base tier is just online games. Playing games online and the usual couple freebies a month. There's a middle tier where I believe you're going to get some access to some games, but not all. And then there's a final highest tier where it's access to everything, plus you get game demos, which we're going to talk about. Okay? So here we go. You guys ready? All right. So right off the monthly blog, it still talks about the monthly games, and it essentially is saying that the monthly games that you get for free under PS Plus will remain exactly the same as they are today. There's no change. You're going to get a few games every month. So no improvement there, but also they're not taking it away. It's essentially the same as it was. Okay? Okay. PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 game catalog. PlayStation Studios games that will be included on day one of the new PlayStation Plus service. So this is, I believe, the middle or highest service will have these games. Alienation by Housemarque. Apparently it's a previous game Housemarque made before Returnal. Never heard of it. Bloodborne. Okay. Concrete Genie. Never played it, but a lot of people have said it's a really good game. Days Gone. Personally, I recommend it. Tough through the first 10 hours and you'll enjoy the game a lot. Dead Nation Apocalypse Edition, also by Housemarque. Okay. Death Stranding and Death Stranding Director's Cut. I have absolutely no idea why you would play the original Death Stranding when the Director's Cut is also included. Just play the Director's Cut with the better content, right? Okay, then. Demon's Souls on PlayStation 5. Yes, the remake is included. That's a big one because that was a launch title for PS5. That was kind of one of the killer apps for PS5 at launch. And now if you didn't play it, being able to play it, especially when a lot of people now have played Elden Ring as their first FromSoft game, that might be a good opportunity to jump in without paying any additional money there, right? Destruction All-Stars. This game is already free. If you have PS Plus, it's already free, and the game is shit. That's all I have to say about that. Everybody's Golf. I don't know anything about that. It's a PS4 game, but I guess it's a golf game that was popular. All right. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. Thumbs way, way, way up for that. Amazing game. And the Director's Cut, I believe, has some additional content and looks better because it runs on PS5 much better. So there you go. God of War. Yes, the one from 2018 is on here. That's cool. Gravity Rush 2, as well as Gravity Rush Remastered. Personally, I played Gravity Rush on my PlayStation Vita and didn't like it, but a lot of people love the franchise. They're both included. Horizon Zero Dawn. There you go. You play the previous Horizon game. Infamous First Light and Infamous Second Son. So you get your dose of Infamous, which, as I've said recently, is one of those franchises that I felt was actually quite good, and I was very sad that it's basically been retired and there's no word of a new Infamous being made. I would absolutely love to see that franchise come back at some point. Okay? Knack. The launch title for PS4 that really showed off the PS4's graphics. But not Knack 2. Why not? Why Knack 1, but not Knack 2? That's weird, right? That really kind of makes me confused. Little Big Planet 3, but not Little Big Planet 1 and 2. Little Big Planet 3 is the worst. 1 and 2 are good games. 3 is kind of shitty. It was made by a different studio. What happened to the first two? They're not on there. Loco Roco and Loco Roco 2 both remastered. I have no idea what those games are. Here's a good one in my opinion. Marvel Spider-Man and Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. 2 thumbs up for that. Outstanding games and an expansion that extrapolated and made it even better. One of the best titles on PS5 still to this day. Yeah, good. That's good value right there if you haven't played them yet. Matterfall. Also by Housemarque. I still never heard of this game either. Jesus, Housemarque made a lot of games I never heard of, huh? Medieval. This is the remake of Medieval. Not the original, but the remake from a few years ago for PS4. Actually quite a good game, although some outdated gameplay mechanics. Still a really fun game, and I really enjoyed playing it. Patapon and Petapon2, both remastered. Patapon was originally a rhythm game for PSP, if I remember correctly. And then later on, it was ported to home consoles. Resogun from Housemarque. I don't know what that is. Literally every Housemarque game ever is being added to this service, okay? Returnal. Actually, Returnal, the latest Housemarque game, is also included in this premium PS Plus service, okay? Shadow of the Colossus remake. Cool. I love Shadow of the Colossus. The remake was good. To get exposure to a whole new audience, that sounds good to me. Tearaway Unfolded. I never played Tearaway. I believe originally, again, it was a PS Vita game that was ported to consoles. A lot of people liked it, had a big fan base. I never played it, but apparently it's good. The Last Guardian. Now, you guys know my opinion on The Last Guardian. Sadly, a disappointing game that came out way too late. Should have come out PS3 era, didn't come out till late PS4 era. By that point, the gameplay mechanics and everything about the game was outdated. Which is sad, because I feel like the game was actually a beautiful game that came out a decade too late. But it is what it is. That was actually the last outing from Japan Studio. After that, I don't think they put anything else out, right? The Last of Us Remastered and The Last of Us Left Behind. So, the original Last of Us Remastered on PS4 and then the expansion. But interestingly enough, no Last of Us 2. Could there be a reason? Could it be that they are going to milk the customers again with Last of Us 2 by releasing some kind of a special edition? Very well may be, and if that's the case, you don't want the original game on this service. That's the only reason I can think why they wouldn't put Last of Us 2 on here if they've got the other ones. Okay. Until Dawn from Supermassive Games. This is the horror choose-your-own-adventure style game that came out, I think, in 2016. At that point, one of my best playthroughs I've ever done. Seriously. It was like watching an interactive B-horror movie. It was super fun to do that playthrough. People absolutely loved every moment of it. And I still, to this day, think it's one of the better playthroughs I ever did. So, oh, by the way, the new game, The Quarry, next month from that same studio. Same exact style of game, too. So, it should be pretty neat. Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection, which is the updated HD remastered version of the original 3 Uncharted games. And Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, the latest Uncharted game. And Uncharted The Lost Legacy, the standalone expansion to Uncharted 4, starring 2 of the other side characters as the main protagonists. So again, everything Naughty Dog, except Last of Us 2. Which again, raises the question, is it because they're going to re-release Last of Us 2? Probably. Okay, and then Wipeout Omega Collection, which I guess is supposed to be a collection of all different Wipeout games. I mean, Wipeout has been around since the PS1 days. It was one of the launch titles for PS1, I remember. And I'm sure there's been many iterations over the years, and this is a collection of all of those. Okay? So those are the first-party games. Now we move on to third-party partners. Ashen from Annapurna Interactive. Assassin's Creed Valhalla from Ubisoft. Batman Arkham Knight from WB Games. Celeste from Maddie Makes Games. City Skylines from Paradox Interactive. Control Ultimate Edition from 505 Games. Dead Cells from Motion Twin. Far Cry 3 Remaster, as well as Far Cry 4 from Ubisoft. Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition from Square Enix. For Honor from Ubisoft. Hollow Knight from Team Cherry. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Yes, they came from just last fall from Square Enix. Mortal Kombat 11 from WB Games. Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 from Bandai Namco Entertainment. NBA 2K22 from 2K Games. Outer Wilds from Annapurna Interactive, which I've already played on Game Pass. Red Dead Redemption 2 from Rockstar Games. That's a pretty notable one in my opinion. Resident Evil, the remake on PS4. The original Resident Evil, I guess, remade on PS4. Soul Calibur 6 from Bandai Namco. Okay? South Park, The Fractured But Whole from Ubisoft. The Artful Escape from Annapurna Interactive. The Crew 2 from Ubisoft. And Tom Clancy's The Division 1. Not 2, the latest one that everyone wants to play. 1 that no one plays. Okay. Those are the major games. The modern games coming out under this premium service of PS Plus. However, there's also retro games. And there's something actually very interesting to note about this, okay? If you have the premium PS Plus service, you're going to immediately get access to some retro games. We're going to go through that list right now. However, also, they have updated PlayStation 4 and 5. Listen to this because this is a first. You ready? This is just learned this morning. If you already owned the digital-only versions of any retro PlayStation games, PlayStation 1 or 2, I think it might include 3 as well, I'm not sure, but PlayStation 1 or 2 games, okay? You can now download that on your PlayStation 4 or 5 and play it free of charge. So, for example, I own a lot of games digitally from PlayStation Store, including Silent Hill 1, Metal Gear Solid 1, Final Fantasy 7, among others. I'm going to be able to play those on my PS5. Cool. That's excellent, because guess what? That completely fixes my problem with my busted PS3. My PS3 is unable to connect to the internet. Now I'll be able to re-download all those classic games on my modern console and play them. Yes, yes, yes. That's great. However, guess what? You don't need the new PlayStation Plus service for that functionality. Everyone's getting it. You don't need to subscribe. You just get it. So I don't need to pay an extra $1. I will have access to all of my classic games that I had from PlayStation Store on PS5 the day that this service launches. In fact, I would say the day this service launches, I want to go and see what games I have, because I don't even know. Okay then. Pretty cool, huh? I think that's a really great feature, and they're doing it for free. That's really outstanding. I don't ever have to worry about using my PS3 ever again. Thank God. Okay. Haseo says, what about saved data that's on your PS3? Did you ever upload that to the cloud? That's done, dude. What are you going to do? You cannot transfer a save data from PS3 to PS5. It's just not going to happen. So it's lost. Doesn't matter. I didn't have any ongoing playthroughs on there anyway. They'll all be fresh. It's okay. Okay. Good. So now here's some. I don't know if this is supposed to be all, but here's some of the retro games that will be included at the launch of the PlayStation Plus premium experience. Okay. Ape Escape, Hot Shots Golf, IQ Intelligent Cube, Jumping Flash, Siphon Filter 1, and Super Stardust Portable. Also, from third-party companies, Mr. Driller, Tekken 2, Worms World Party, and Worms Armageddon. Supposedly, just so you guys know, these games are now supposed to include full pausing, if they didn't have it originally, save states, okay, and a rewind feature. So it's like playing these retro games, but you also have a bunch of extra features if you play them. All right? Now, moving on, there's also a list of classic game remakes, including Ape Escape 2 on PS4, Ark the Lad Twilight of the Spirits on PS4, Dark Cloud and Dark Cloud 2 on PS4. Actually, these are all PS4, so I'm going to stop saying PS4 now. Fantavision, Hot Shots Tennis, Jack 2, Jack 3, Jack X, Jack X, Jack and Daxter, The Precursor Legacy, Rogue Galaxy, Siren, and Wild Arms 3. So all those games will be included, and then a few more third-party games, including the BioShock Remastered Collection, Borderlands The Handsome Collection, Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition, Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning, and the biggest one. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready. Lego Harry Potter Collection. Buy some of this stuff. Come on. I need your help. Come on, guys. Buy some of this stuff. All right, anyway. People didn't have the reaction that I expected. Okay. We're not done. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the last piece of this puzzle is PlayStation 3 games, all right? However, there is a catch. There is a catch here. Games that are PlayStation 3 games available now under this service are only streamable. You cannot download and play these games off your hard drive. You can only live stream them from the cloud. Your mileage may vary on if you're going to be able to do this, because some people have reported that they get PS Now when they try to stream the games, and it doesn't work. It lags, it buffers, it glitches, and it fucking fails. Others have said, well, I got really good internet and I'm able to do it. So again, your mileage may vary if this service will work for you or not. I personally have no idea if this would work for me or not. Okay? So any PlayStation 3 games must be streamed from the cloud, no downloading of them. Here's the games available, all right? Crash Commando, Demon Souls, the original game. Now, the interesting thing about this is Demon Souls original game servers were turned off. They're gone. When they started working on the Demon Souls remake, they turned off the original servers. So if you play Demon Souls on this service, you will not have any online capability at all, which kind of is like half a game. So I don't really know what the value added there is, especially because you're going to be getting the PS5 version, but it's there. Echo Chrome, Hot Shots Golf Out of Bounds, Hot Shots Golf World Invitational, Ico. That's the game that's previous to Shadow of the Colossus from Japan Studio. The original Infamous, Infamous 2, and Infamous Festival of Blood, the outstanding standalone expansion to Infamous 2. So all the PS3 Infamous games are included. Loco Roco, Coco Rachoco, Checo Choco. Whatever. Motorstorm Apocalypse. Wow. A game that I played and actually was one of my earlier playthroughs that got notoriety, and a song that plays on my PreStream every day is from Motorstorm Apocalypse. It barely grazed the wall. Complete Destruction. That's in there. Motorstorm RC. I don't know what that is. Puppeteer. Rain. Ratchet & Clank, The Quest for Booty. Ratchet & Clank, A Crack in Time. Ratchet & Clank, Into the Nexus. Resistance 3. I don't know why Resistance 1 and 2 aren't included, but Resistance 3 is in there. Super Stardust HD. Now, this next one's very interesting. Tokyo Jungle. Why is this interesting? This game was never sold as a disc outside of Japan. It's a digital-only game worldwide, so anyone who played Tokyo Jungle, if you didn't have this service, you would not really have access to it anymore. What was interesting is that they were going to do away with this game. Like, they were going to do away with being able to buy these old digital games on Play. They were going to shut down the PlayStation Store on PS3. So people were like, wow, games like Tokyo Jungle will go away forever. Well, now it's available here in this new program. Okay? And When Vikings Attack, whatever that is. Then there's some third-party games, including Azura's Wrath. Remember that game from Capcom that caused a shitstorm when there was no ending in the real game and you had to pay a bunch of money for DLC to see the real ending in the game, and it was the beginning of the whole DLC bullshit finagling fiasco from Capcom. Remember that? Also, Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2. Not 1. 1 was the good one. 2 sucked. 2. Devil May Cry HD Collection, which is the first 3 Devil May Cry games redone in HD for the PlayStation 3. Enslaved Odyssey to the West, a playthrough again that actually was notable for my early days on YouTube, and I have a whole remix. Platformers that I play every day on PreStream. That song is from Enslaved Odyssey to the West. Fear 1. Not 2 or 3. Fear 1 only. Lost Planet 2. Not 1 or 3. You're seeing a pattern here? It's like they hand-picked certain games and left out a bunch of others. It's really confusing to me. Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 and Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. Interestingly enough, Red Dead Redemption's expansion for Halloween, but not the original Red Dead Redemption. That's a little confusing to me. Why? Right? I don't understand that one at all. And then the last thing, all right? The last thing. I mentioned there's going to be time-limited game trials, i.e. game demos. Here's how they work. For certain selected games, if you have the highest tier of this PlayStation Plus service, you have to pay the most. For certain selected games that are coming out or already out, you're going to download the entire effing game to your console. Okay? but you're only going to be able to play the game for around 2 hours, at which time the game will then lock you out and say, hope you've been enjoying the game, but now you must buy it to proceed. Games included at launch are as follows: Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, Horizon Forbidden West, Cyberpunk 2077. That's a very interesting one, because how many people heard the horror stories about how bad the game was, and even after almost 2 years, probably never went back to it. Now you can go back to it for free to try it out. Farming Simulator 22. I'm sold. I'm getting it. I'm getting to do it. Farming Simulator, baby. Farming fucking simulator. Farming fucking simulator. Gotta farm, gotta do it, plant the crops. Gotta plant the crops, gotta plant the crops, gotta plant the crops. Farming Simulator. That'll put butts in seats. Tiny Tina's Wonderland. That shit just came out, right? That's the Borderlands standalone expansion, its own story. And WWE 2K22, the game I'm playing right now, has this 2-hour demo as well. Okay? So, these are all the games that are available as timed demos, 2-hour demos at launch. What they're saying is there will be new games added regularly. If you are just a member of the standard PS Plus, meaning the cheapest level, you'll get free games once a month on the first Tuesday of every month, just like they do right now. No different. However, if you are a member of Extra or Premium / Deluxe, the higher tiers, they claim they're going to be adding new games weekly. Now, they have like asterisk, 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 and if you read the fine print, essentially what it says is they'll do it as often as they can, but they can't guarantee that every market will get every game, and they're not promising a new game every week, but they're trying to basically say that you will get more games with the premium services as opposed to the El Cheapo one where you only get the online connectivity and the base level freebie stuff, okay? So in summary, there will be some classic PS1 games and PSP games. There will be some PlayStation 3 games. There will be some PS4, PS5 games, all available at the launch of this service. There will be demos available as well. One of the new things that they're adding that blows me away and I absolutely am very ecstatic about is playing PS1 and PS2 digital games. It's unclear if PS3 is included. I read it and it wasn't clear to me, the blog post. I guess we're going to have to find out when this happens in mid-June here. But having access to all of your digital PlayStation games on your modern console. I'm going to be very happy being able to play older PlayStation games on PS5. That's going to make me a very happy camper. I don't have to deal with the bullshit of PlayStation 3 crashing and HDCP bypass bullshit. I can just do it normally like I've been doing all along with PS5. Okay? And the free monthly games as well. Not only are you getting all that at launch, but also every month, new games added, new games added. All right? So, what are the pros and cons, all right, of this new service? The pros, well, first of all, access to a ton of games. Right now, you don't get access to any of those classic games with regular PS Plus. And even PS Now, you get some of that, but not all of it. To have it all combined into one easy package is a nice thing for one monthly fee. And I think the game demos for some people will be huge, especially if it's for new games. We don't know yet if brand new games will be included or not. But how cool would it be if some newer games will be included under the game demo umbrella? You play 2 hours of it to determine if you like it before you actually buy it, right? Fuck, I might use that, right? Like, if there was hot new games on there, and I didn't know if I was sold, if I wanted to play them for the streams or not, I might just do the 2-hour game demo on one stream. Say, it's a game demo night, and we play a game for 2 hours. Say, hey, did you guys like it? Should I buy it and continue playing it? Or should we just never play it ever again and no skin off my back, right? That could be pretty darn cool, I feel. Okay? But let's weigh the cons. All right? First of all, I'm sorry, but only being able to do the cloud streaming for PlayStation 3 games is preposterously bad. It is so dumb. Oh, it puts a bad taste in my mouth. Like, no, I don't want to stream the games. I know what's going to happen. It's going to lag. You're going to have buffering. It's going to pixelate when there's a blip in the internet. Like, it's going to be fucked up. We're not there yet. We're just not at the level of internet, all right, where we can do full internet live streaming from the cloud of a video game. Just look at Google Stadia that just tried it and failed miserably. If Google can't do it with all the money and resources they've got, what makes Sony think that this is going to be successful? It's not. It's not going to work. You're going to have the vast majority of people try to use it, and it ain't going to work. Now, why are they doing that? Because guess what? The PlayStation 3 was designed in such a weird freaking way that this console is so hard to emulate that Sony doesn't want to put the time and resources into it. People have found a way to emulate it, and people have said it's one of the hardest things you could ever do. It's just not easy to do. It's so many workarounds are needed and everything because they made it so different from the architecture of a PC. And after that, they learned their lesson. So, yeah, that's why. Like, even today, we're talking 2 console generations later, they still don't want to put the effort into emulating their PS3 games. That's how bad it is. So, you have to stream them, which sucks. You know, I guarantee you, it ain't going to work. Even for me, with my business class internet, it probably won't work. I'll probably try to stream one of these games and the thing will crap out and suck ass. All right? So we'll see what happens with this. But that's the major con for me. And the other major con for me, I'll be honest, there's no new games on there. Take a look at all the games I just mentioned. Nothing new. It's all stuff that's already out. And for me, there's really no major value added because I'm going to play all those games at launch anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, any game that I'm interested in, I'm going to play it at launch. I'm not going to want to play it after the fact a year later. You know, maybe there will be a few exceptions here or there. But for the most part, the hot new releases, I'm going to be playing at launch and buying them. I don't want to wait to play them. And it seems like that's the thing here. That's the attitude of PlayStation here is, nah, you're just going to get games that, you know, late. With Game Pass, you're getting new games day freaking one. You don't have to buy them. You just get them and play. I just played Trek to Yomi. Brand new freaking game. And I got it for free. And it just happens all the time on Game Pass, you see? So for me, looking at all of this, I'm like, okay, is there value added if you own a PlayStation? Absolutely, there is. I'm very happy that Sony is giving the free ability to play the older games on your modern console. That's like nice of them, that you don't even need the subscription service to do that. They didn't have to do that. But just as people have been saying, comparing Game Pass to PlayStation Plus Premium or whatever you want to call it, it's like apples to oranges. This is completely different. It's got way more features and it's way more consumer friendly. This is nice to have, but it's kind of like a luxury thing. Like, this is essential. If you own an Xbox, it's a no-brainer. Get fucking Game Pass. You're going to save money. You're going to play a variety of games. You're going to get your value added out of it. This is kind of like, well, I already have the PlayStation console. This is a nice luxury service to have that'll have some extra features. I don't know if I'll use them all, but it's nice to have, but it's not necessary. Game Pass, essential. PlayStation Plus, deluxe, non-essential, but kind of nice to have. You see the difference here? What I would say is, later on, perhaps it'll be more attractive and better. But absolutely not right now. You know, maybe later on, there will be a situation where they'll add more to the PlayStation Plus Premium, like more retro games. Like, that's almost no retro games at all. Do you hear? There's like 20, if that, not even. I was like, that's the retro game selection? Now, by the way, there may be more. But for me, I'm looking for classics. Put on all the classic PlayStation games on there, right? All the Crash Bandicoots. All the Spyros. All the classic RPGs that were Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9. Where are those? Why are there all these big games? The classic Resident Evils. 1, 2, 3. You know, where are they? Put the classics on there. They didn't put any of that shit on there. Why not? Come on. Give me what I want. Give me the real deal. If you tossed every classic PS game on there, maybe I would be more convinced. All right? But they didn't. They just kind of threw a willy-nilly a few games here or there. Unless they are, because this isn't the full listing. I think none of us are really going to have a definitive answer on the value until it launches and we try it out. Personally, am I going to try it out? I don't know. I think it's June 12th. On June 10th, 2 fucking games come out. There's The Quarry and there's the Mario Strikers soccer game. So I'm going to be playing 2 new releases at that time and juggling them. So I don't know. Should I possibly, just for 1 month, get the premium service jump into it, try everything, see all the retro games available, see how the PS3 streaming actually works, do a live demo of all of it for you guys so that you guys know if the value is there or not, right? Maybe I should do it, excuse me, just on curiosity's sake and curiosity purposes. Maybe we should just do it 1 month and do it together. Do a series of night streams where I just test it out and try the different things in it. Not that I'm committing to any particular playthrough or anything through it, but just testing its general functionality. I think that would be all right. You know, I don't think that's a problem at all. It's cheap. It's not that expensive. I think it's what, $20 a month for the highest level one. I think I'd be willing to do that, to test it out for you guys. How does that sound? In fact, I'm going to put it on my calendar. PS Plus Premium Launch Day, June 12th. Of course, keep in mind that could change. That could definitely change, but I think that would make sense. That would be a cool exploration stream, no? I would hope at least you guys think that would be good. And then, depending on how much value I get out of it that month and how much we like it together, then we determine if I keep it or not. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for shout-outs. On the YouTube side of things, we start off today with Rob on Wheels, who re-upped his membership for 13 months, earning the Regal Crown Chat badge. And he says, ooh, crown upgrade. Thank you for the ongoing support. As always, Rob, it's good to see you here. I hope you're having a good day. And it's really cool to see you earn that crown. Ruby has done a $10 super chat and saying, instead of reacting to drama videos, why not try movie trailers? They're short, sweet, and are variety. I'd love to see you react to the terrible movie trailer for Chippendale Rescue Rangers because it's too much of a liability. Using any copywritten content like that that's outside of, say, a YouTube video, something by a major studio, even people who are well within the realm of fair use get takedown requests and things all the time. For me, it's just not worth the risk. This channel is my business, my bread and butter. It's how I pay my bills, how I make a living, how I support my family. If this channel gets hit with a copyright strike, I'm fucked. I can't risk that. It's one thing to use a video from another YouTuber who I've got permission. That's very different than, oh, I'm just going to take a movie trailer and react to it. And now what's the chance that they're going to claim me or you know what I mean? It's not worth the risk. I understand what you're saying. And yes, I would like to react to stuff other than drama content. I agree with you. I think it would be cool to see me do other things. In fact, recently Slayer, the frequent stream viewer and supporter, has suggested a few different channels to me on YouTube, one of which is a really interesting channel, a guy that covers like conspiracies, murder mysteries, even ghost stories. And I was like, wow, that could be interesting to react to if they ever allowed me to. I don't know if they would. I would have to look into it. But yeah, I'm down for variety, but it's got to be stuff that's not like, oh, look, a major movie studio. Those fuckers will sue you into oblivion and not give two shits. I can't risk that. That's crazy, you know? Thank you for the super chat. And Zway did a super chat saying, I'd like to see you revisit Siren and Silent Hill. Well, let me think about this. Siren, I only played one. Wasn't it called Siren Blood Curse? The one that I played? And that was the one where every time you die, they go, oh, you wanna. And it's kind of a broken game. It's not great. It is creepy for sure, but the gameplay mechanics are quite frustrating. I remember I played it over a summer when it was kind of dead. If there's other Siren games, maybe I'd be interested, but I don't think I want to replay that one. As for the Silent Hills, I've replayed... Which one was it that I replayed that I ran out of ammo at the end because I played it on hard and I had to beat the final boss with a crowbar or something? I can't remember which one that was, if it was 1 or 2. Was it 2? I think it was 2. So, I could replay 1 and 3. That I'd be interested in, but probably not 2 again. I already played it twice, you know. Okay, thank you, Zway, for the super chat and the suggestions. All right, we're going to do some shout-outs for tips, and then I'm just curious. We're going to check on the poll and see how it's going for the poll that I put up this morning for what games you guys would be interested in seeing me play. Our first tip of today is a $2 tip from Big Papa Pump. Who says the following. Love the joke about the Painkiller Already podcast. Wings is right about them. They're just all about the money. Thanks for not being like them. Have a great one. Well, thank you, Big Papa Pump. Snow Carl to the $1.50 says, I'm excited you're giving a new PC so you can play all the games you missed out on, like Total War, Rimworld, Civilization, Monkey Island, and more. Will you ever play Kingdom Come Deliverance? I'm not getting a new PC to play PC games, and I'm not interested in Kingdom Come Deliverance. You're completely wrong. Not Abraham took $2. He says, there was sad news today. Someone on Reddit had a dev PS3 console which contained an early build of Metal Gear Solid 5. It had a beta of the completely missing Chapter 3 from the game that we ended up getting on PS4. He sold it like a moron to a random guy, and now it's lost forever. Sad. Thank you for the tip. An anonymous tipper tipped $1.50. Says, I'm rewatching the Down the Rabbit Hole video, and it shows how much nicer you've become. You were such a dick in some of those older clips, but I'm glad that you've come so far. I was a dick. I absolutely positively was a dick, and some of that was legit, and some of that was kind of like a shtick. But, like I said, over the years, here's what I've learned. Regardless of how actually popular I am, when I say something, I have a little bit of clout, and people listen to it, all right? And I gotta be careful with what I say and how I conduct myself in my content. Because if I'm being a complete asshole, people out there will think it's okay to be a complete asshole. And I don't want a lot of complete assholes. There's enough assholes in the world, you know? Back then, I was an asshole. I literally conducted myself like an asshole in order to just kind of get a rise out of viewership. And that's why there was things like friend request ridicule and shit like that. And then over time, I got wise. And I was like, man, you know what? I'm stupid. I shouldn't have done that. I should have been way more responsible with who I was and what I was doing, the content I was putting out, instead of just saying, life's just a joke. The whole world's a comedy. Fuck it. Just put anything out on the internet and not give two shits about it. That's a horrible, horrible mentality to have as a content creator. Trust me, as someone who has been the victim of people coming over here and shitting all over me. I'm like, why? Oh, because some random content creator today said you're an asshole. What? Who is it? Who are they? I never heard of them. But they're irresponsible. They don't care. They don't understand that what they do has repercussions. So today's the day when all their fans come over here and crap on me and ruin my content. I don't even know who the fuck they are, you know? So that's what I mean. You got to be responsible with what you do. And now I know that. Back then I didn't. Back then I really didn't give a shit about anything I put out. I was like, just watch it and whatever. And that was it. But things are different today for sure. All right, guys. Last chance if anyone has any questions or anything they want to talk about here on the PreStream podcast. Oh, by the way, let's check the poll. Let's check the poll. So, about an hour ago, we put up a poll on the community tab of DSPGaming to determine what game you guys are interested in to see me play, all right, here on the channel as a late night stream, because I'm going to finish Mirror's Edge sooner rather than later. The 5 games were Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, Earthbound or Mother 2, Super Mario Bros. 2 USA Edition, which is Doki Doki Panic, Serious Sam 4, and One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. As of now, 326 votes have been cast, okay? One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 is 11%, Serious Sam 4 is 10%, Super Mario Bros. 2 USA, Doki Doki Panic 18%, Earthbound 10%, and Legend of Zelda Link to the Past 51%. Really? You guys really want to see me play Zelda, huh? I didn't expect that. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, but I certainly wasn't expecting Zelda to be the big front runner here. Okay. I mean, surprising, but I like the game a lot. I do. That's the actual first Zelda I ever played. I never played the originals on NES. I only played Link to the Past. And the game has ridiculously good music. The game has great gameplay mechanics. It's got an open world that's exciting to explore. And it's got a real retro vibe to it. I really love that game. Now, I haven't played it in a very long time. The last time I played it was 10 years ago. So it would be hard for me to remember everything. I feel like I'd probably suck at it. I'd have to like relearn everything. But I'll remember a lot of it too, I feel. Okay. Now keep in mind, the poll just went live an hour ago. Only 300 some people have voted. Typically when I put up a poll, there's over 1,000 people who vote. That poll can definitely flip. If you're interested, I want one of those games sounds good to me. Head over there and please vote, okay? The more votes, the better. All right, guys. I think it is time to end the PreStream podcast. The one final thing I will say here. I talked about it at the beginning of the podcast. I'm going to reiterate it at the end. Right now, this channel is seeing a big surge in attendance and views because of what I did this weekend with my 1-year anniversary. In particular, 3 events. It was the DSP Reacts to Down the Rabbit Hole Dark Side Phil, Feasting with the King, and the 30-man Fantasy Sims, Battle Royale Sims in WWE 2K22. Thank you for all of that attention and viewership. That does not equate into support. It just doesn't. views on YouTube do not equate into support. Ad revenue this month is already down 20% on YouTube just in general. Their ads are less profitable. If you like the content you're seeing, please support it in any way you can. Membership, super chat, super sticker on a stream, or a tip on a stream or an on-demand viewer. Or if you're an on-demand viewer, like the video, leave a comment, super thanks. Like I said, this month, I got $20 in super thanks so far. It's not profitable. It's not. I do need the support right now. I looked at my numbers, and because ad revenue is so far down, I'm down a lot this month for what I usually make on YouTube. So obviously, I don't want June to be a bad month where now everything's ridiculously tight. So if you could support, please do in any way. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Let's end the PreStream podcast and get into today's gameplay. Awesome.